Welcome to Free Fire Radio. And now, Free Fire Radio is about to commence.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Free Fire Radio right here at Tobacco and Brew.
Many of you that are listening right now are listening to the computer, listening to freefireradio.com. We do have a house here at Tobacco and Brew, and today we're going to be talking about something that's extremely hot. It's a hot topic.
I've got a new nickname over the last couple of weeks, and I've always had a lot of nicknames, but this one I thought was pretty good. I guess I'm now being called the Grim Reefer. And under federal law, marijuana is, illegal, medicinal, industrial, recreational. That law is still there today. The new administration is not enforcing that law, and they are allowing the states to create some policy, and therefore some cities are also creating policy on this product. The problem still lies is that as an elected official, and that I think needs to be clear, unlike an average person, we are elected and we have to abide by all state and federal laws. When such time comes, when the federal law disappears, then that's a different situation entirely. Then by all means the city has the obligation to do what's best to try to manage the use of medicinal marijuana. So it would be my...
So our guest today is Danny Wright. Good morning, or good afternoon, Danny.
Good morning, Linda.
All right. So I guess, tell us about yourself.
Well, name's Danny. I've been a resident of Reading since 1986, except for 2 years in the military. And we currently work construction in the city and other jobs, and been asked to come speak on behalf of marijuana. Although I do not use marijuana and don't necessarily advocate the use of it, I just believe that there's some political, it's all political reasons that it's been made illegal. And a lot of the fight on it is, again, politics. A lot of it's a stereotype that's been brought out through years of propaganda and politics through bureaucracies and lobbyists over the last 80 years or so.
So there's a lot of information out there that the council does not have yet. We're certainly not experts on the product. The economy is bad. Building owners are desperate to get people in these places, and the federal government said that they will not, prosecute. They are being allowed to come in, and then you get a whole different situation where you have property, tenants on each side that have a whole variety of problems and complaints, and that's a whole new issue that has to be addressed.
I do think it should be legalized. I think the propaganda started, possibly as early as the 19-teens. If anybody's familiar with the movies Reefer Madness, and that all, that all came from, I believe, lobbyists and ulterior motives with marijuana. 1920 is when prohibition became law. And the government learned that you could not say no matter how bad alcohol was. And alcohol was a social problem then. People were getting drunk, crashing cars for the first time, coming home beating their wives, everything else. And they could not make it illegal. As soon as they said no, we empowered the mafia. We had a whole new bureaucracy of the government to stop alcohol, and that went nowhere. All it did was empower the mafia, which is still in power today. They got all their money, all these street thugs, still invest their money and use it for illegal purposes. And they learned that, eventually they gave up in 1933 on alcohol. And we've just pumped billions and billions of dollars into this war to stop it, and it's done nothing. And
well, let me comment on that one too, if I can. Yet the usage it shows in high school is dropping of drugs, of marijuana. The idea that when it was made illegal, it was under the same tier system, I believe, as heroin and cocaine and other types of heavy drugs, that marijuana, as opposed to different tiers. Like tier 1 could have been heroin and tier 3 could have been marijuana, but they made them all the same on the same level, which was probably a mistake, and there's different reasons that this came out. But you're right. You know, your historical. Your name?
My name's Roberta Wright, and I have a statement mostly because I was on a 3-week medical marijuana grow jury trial, and I learned a lot. It would have been good if everybody could have heard all the information that was given at that 3-week jury trial. One thing I learned that nobody has ever died from using marijuana, children or adults. So here we have all the resources of all the government agencies of Syntec moving against these people who were no threat to me. I would have liked all those resources to go to get child molesters, rapists.
Misinformation over the years about it, that kids get into high school, their friends say, hey, try this, and they're like, oh, no, you know, that stuff's terrible. Then they try it and find out it isn't. And suddenly, okay, now they've been lied to. Dosage and frequency and that type of stuff. Marijuana is not anything like alcohol or pills. You don't get twice as stoned by smoking 2 joints instead of 1. And as far as it being stronger now, yes, it is. But once again, you don't get any more stoned. It just means that you no longer have to smoke a full joint. You can smoke a half joint and get just as high as you used to on a full joint. So all those misconceptions have snowballed into...
We have liquor licenses in the state or in the county or in the cities. We could do the same thing with, you know, marijuana license. You can only have so many per population or so many per city. And therefore it's, you know, it's regulated how many we can have, how many co-ops or whatever in the state or in the city. And it wasn't for some bravery and some people who wanted change, we wouldn't be a country we are today without stepping up and say, hey, we don't want to be like that. We want to be different.
Compared to bars in towns, and you know, there doesn't need to be 60 co-ops. I agree with that. But at the same time, I don't think you're going to have the criminal or social aspects you have with the nightclub problems we have, where people are dying every year, and rape, and drunk driving, and everything else.
The heavy-handed tactics of the city council. There's no other business that is regulated by the police captain. There's no business where the police captain is going to allow permits to be dispensed by himself. He doesn't do that for pharmacies. These dispensaries not being near each other. Well, Rite Aid and Walgreens set up right across the street from each other. The dispensaries sharing common walls with other businesses. Nobody ever talks about Gift's Burgers allowing the hamburger smell to waft.
You cannot impact people adversely to the point where they can't conduct their businesses. There have to be, you know, some guidelines around this. So
just remember, it's the good guys against the bad guys. Which are you?